Hello there. In this video, I'm going to be providing a overview of my Lego farm, as well as what I've been doing recently, some of the orders I've gotten, and what I plan on doing in the future. So let's get started. So I actually wanted to start with a quick history of the farm. So it was actually right here. I know it's a bit of a mess, I'm sorry, but it was approximately 2 gray base plates, and it was right here. I'll throw a picture up on the screen. Yeah, it wasn't too great looking, was it? So then I decided to actually move it to over here where it got a little bit more space. And I had a problem where I was anticipating too much of an expansion and to get more land. And I was kind of building too much of what I had, even though I didn't have the room for it yet. So I ultimately decided to move my plans of an airport, which will be in a future video. That's all the way down there. And the airport the idea is gone, and now we have the farm right here. So it has come a long way since the farm started. Even just right here, it looked a lot different even a couple weeks ago. So let's kind of start off with why it's looked so different and some of the orders I've gotten, that kind of things. So for this farm, I have actually gotten 2 Bricklink orders. In addition, I have also gone to the pab wall a decent amount of times, and that is where. So I actually wanted to do right now a overview of what the farm looks like as of right now. So when you come on over here, this is considered the smaller part of the hill. It's less steep. Here we have a little pumpkin patch with a path leading down. Another path is leading up, and this I will talk about in a minute. Sorry, my parts and tractors are here. So over here, I have a little pathway, and there's going to be a little well right here. I have the path leading all the way down here, and this is kind of the main entrance area. So we have 3 diverging paths. The first diverging path, as we just saw, is here. The second one comes all the way up here and is a little parking spot. There will actually be another path here, but again, that's for later. The third path that we already have right now is the path which is leading to my first field that I have, which is actually the cornfield. So this field started, it was only this size when it was back over here, and now it has expanded to all this brown, hopefully one day. So then over here, we have actually a wheat field. So I've never had a wheat field before. This is my first time. And the wheat field, as you can see, is only partially complete. Both these fields take a lot of pieces and a lot of money to do the fields. So that's kind of the reason that it's only been started a little bit. So I actually want to move on to a technique I've been using. You've probably seen it a lot. It is these. So these are scattered all over my farm. I intend to pretty much have them in this entire area. This area will kind of be different, but I intend to have them almost everywhere. And I get they do look like a lot, but the point is that they're meant to look more like an overgrown grass, kind of like they're not maintained as well, and that they're just kind of there. I think it adds nice detail. When we move up here, when we talk about it, I think this is one of my favorite shots. I mean, just look at that. So I do this, and I actually, really all I use is just one of the circle pieces as well as one of the grass pieces. The grass pieces can be found on the picket brick wall, which is super helpful. But the circle pieces, unfortunately, do have to be ordered from either Pab Online or Bricklink. Even though I was talking about how I use all those circles, I did start using a newer method over in the more open fields, so around here, around the cornfield. As you can see, I started laying the foundation right here. It's actually these small green leaves, and you can find these on the picket brick wall, again, which is super helpful. And you just go around and dot it with leaf pieces, the stem pieces, I'm sorry, and you fill it in. I think it gives a really nice effect. It's not as busy, and it's a little, I think for an open field, it looks a little better. This was a suggestion by one of my friends, and I think it's actually less part intensive, saves a lot of money, and again, it's always best when you can get it from the pab wall. So moving on to this kind of mysterious section, this is sort of my cargo loading area. So the idea is that this farm provides a lot of resources for the city, for other cities, for everywhere. So you can see there's a lot of crates here. They have a little loading bay. I actually have a cargo truck I got a couple years ago that's parked here, and they're going to be loading up the cart. So they're just going to be transporting goods around the city, and the farm is a very vital part of Bricksboro around here. Next, we're going to move on to probably my favorite section in the entire farm so far, and that is the section with the A-frame cabin. So we already looked at the path here, and I want to start over here where we have a little bit of a steeper hill, again using these grass pieces with the holes in them. And I just got a order of quarter round tiles in my newest Bricklink order, and so I've started making a lot of paths around. So you can see the A-frame, beautiful set. I actually took the wood cache, separated it, and put it right over here. I have a little path here, and here's a path connecting the sort of parking area and goes around, and we'll see what's in back. In back, as I'm sure you all know, we have the little wash area. I have the path connecting here, and I kind of have just like a nice little pebble area back here so that the water can get through. Here, I have a tree design, which I really like. I just came up with it the other day with some extra pieces I had from the Powwall and just in general. You'll probably see a short on this coming soon about how to build it, but I hope to create probably about 15 more of them and scatter them throughout the farm. That's my hope, but someday. Next, I wanted to kind of move on to this undetermined area. So right here is a design for a fence I want to do. I built this with the pieces I currently have. I intend on getting more pieces to do a ton of these for different pens around the farm. You can probably expect another short coming with a build of how to do these. I think these look really clean. Inspiration actually came from Chris Brick, so shout out to him. And back here, I created a little watering hole, which I think looks awesome. So right here, I envision of having a little cow pen, which is going to be the larger pen. I have one cow right here, but I have to get some black and white cows. They're very expensive, but I'll probably get some. And just over here, I plan to have a lot of different pens for different animals, sheep, horse, chicken, that kind of stuff. And then I also intend in the future to put a big red barn right here. You can also expect a brown trail connecting that barn, paths connecting to each of them, and detailed areas inside all the pens. Another thing that I wanted to add was that this area is kind of going to be a little different from the rest of the farm. So here I intend on adding a little bonfire area, which I think will look nice, but this area, and the biggest thing that'll be different from the rest of the farm, is that I don't really intend on using this technique as much, because I think that when it's around all the pens, it'll kind of distract you from the animals and the life going on in it, and I think that it'll look a lot cleaner because it'll look like it's more maintained for the animals, and that's my intention for this area. So I have to kind of figure out how to blend it. When it's coming up here, I have to figure out how to kind of phase it out. But that is for the future. Next, I kind of wanted to move on to the front of the farm. So I already gave a quick glimpse of this area, which will be detailed more in the future. But I have this nice white fence along, which I think looks really cool. I have these nice lanterns, which I adapted from another set. But in the front, I intend on kind of having a little weird area. So this is actually going to be part of a cargo line that's going along. That is a story for another day. But here, I intend on actually having a little farmer's market. That'll be coming in the future as well. Here I want to add more just like parking, so people who are coming either for the farmer's market, or if they're just coming, people who work at the farm, live up here, so they have some parking outside. That's kind of my intention, just a nice little dirt parking lot, maybe some grass, that kind of stuff. So as I'm sure you can imagine, this farm has been quite an expense to do. It's only gotten bigger and bigger and more expensive. As you can also see right here, it is 4 bricks tall in this part, so it's taking a lot of 2x2 bricks. So I have actually placed only 2 Bricklink orders. I'm going to throw up the picture of the first Bricklink order, which was the bigger order. In this order, I had lots of different things. It was more of a variety than it was just specific parts. But in my newest order, I'll show you it here, I actually just had more specific parts, and to be more specific, I only had the little circles that go below the grass and the quarter rounds. That's all I had. So you're probably asking yourself by this point, what am I going to do in the future? Because there is a lot of work done, but there's still a lot of work to go. So I may have mentioned this, I may have not, but I do not have any more of the circles. I also do not have any more of the grass pieces. So I intend on going back to the pick brick wall and getting some more of these leaf pieces, some more of the stem pieces, some more 2x2 brick, because I have the green plate. It's more I don't have the 2x2 brick to raise it up. And so in the future, you can expect probably a video of me going to the pick brick wall and getting all these pieces, but you can also expect me working on this area right here, this area over here, maybe starting to make this pen, and once I get this raised up, more making a rough draft. I also, in addition, want to digitally design the barn. I think that'll work a little better because unfortunately, LEGO has never released a barn. Well, they have, but it's either super old and retired, or it's new, but it's tiny, and I don't think it looks too great, especially not for my city. I want a big red barn sitting right there. Alright, so that kind of wraps up my overview, my plans, my mini update on my farm, and you can definitely expect a lot more coming to this farm soon. Stay tuned, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.